Slave Nation on the Beaten Path. Today is August 12th, 2018. Unfortunately, Swirls is doing that work stuff again, so she's not here. But we do have some fabulous guests. We have Scott and Vicky, and your pet names are?
I'm Dark Phoenix.
Desiree Kitten.
Okay, Desiree Kitten and Dark Phoenix, and we're going to be yapping with them today. Also, I want to remind you that Yitzy has a show coming up on, and I just lost where it was. Oh, that's great. Well, okay, first fifth of the day. Okay, there it is. He will be on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and of course, Trev is on Fridays, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and tune in, and they play, Yitzy plays rock from all over the world. I'm not even sure where he finds this stuff, but you'll really enjoy it. Make sure you tune in. And Trev plays rock as well, but I don't think it's from all over the world. But it's a really good show, and like you all know, I always put on my makeup while I'm listening to Trev's show to go out. So, now, now that I've yap.
Yeah, looking at me like, well, wait a minute, there's a Dom in the room now, what can I do?
Yeah, but you're busy. You're busy.
Am I busy? He's stuffing my face in?
Yeah. So, now you've been a Dom for how many years?
25. I actually started out, my first year in the lifestyle, I started out as a sub, actually. And I really don't think a lot of people understand that you gotta be be on that side of the fence for a little while to understand the other side of the fence. So, but I've been a Dom for 24 years and a sub for a year, so I started out as a sub.
Okay, now here's a question. Do you think it also can work the opposite way, that a sub should try Domming a little so she can understand the...
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some that do that, but I've seen some subs that don't want to have anything to do with it. I mean, it's personal choice. It's not, which is everything in the lifestyle, it's personal choice.
But do you think it helps? It helps because, okay, dominants have a lot of responsibility.
Yeah. Let's see. We have our own power plus the power that you're giving to us. Yeah, we have a lot of responsibility. But, yeah, I could see a sub benefiting from being on the dominant side for a little while. Letting them understand, gain some... a sub has to have their own power to begin with. They can't, if you don't have any power to give, you can't give anything. So, building your own self-confidence, building your own power base within yourself first would probably be a very, very good thing for a sub to do.
And you don't think it would ruin our sweet personalities? I know Tristan's cringing at that. He's going, oh, no.
Sweet, yes. Sweet is what we are.
Yeah. Yeah, very sweet. Rats.
Ow! Ow!
I get boners.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you do. No, I just, because you can't be a sub without being able to, you can't give away something you don't have. If you don't have power within yourself, you don't have self-confidence in yourself, if you don't have, I get stuck on this word, but it's being just self-esteem that you need. You can't give that to a Dom. If you can't take care of yourself, how are you going to take care of them when you give them your power? That's one of the. A lot of people say the same thing, and some people disagree with it. I happen to agree with that statement. But, she needs, Kitten here needs to be strong in her own personality and strong in her own self-confidence and self-image before she can give that power to me, before she can give control to me over her. So, yeah. I think some would definitely benefit from it.
Okay.
I think a lot of doms would benefit from it, from going to the sub side more than the other way around. But
well, I think so too, because some of them, well, and you don't even know what their experience is, but they can be real jerks. Real, they're like a bunch of puffed up pigeons.
yeah, absolutely.
I mean, and you can see it because they
all you have to do is look at a certain website and see how many thousands and thousands of non-doms are calling themselves doms.
Well, yeah.
I'm trying to be politically correct here, but
we don't do politically correctness on Slave Nation.
Okay, posers, fakes, wannabes, people that are just out looking for an easy lay. Yeah, no. Yeah, it just doesn't work. So a lot of them could benefit from getting on the other side of the fence.
Well, I think so too, because you'll find when these ones we're talking about, it's like they're like, well, you're supposed to please me, but they forget that if you're not happy, you're just going to want to throw a rock at their head.
Yeah,
absolutely. The entire job of a dom is to take the world's stress off of their sub. I'm not necessarily saying paying their bills or that kind of thing. It's you're taking life's decision. You're taking decisions in general off of their shoulders, so that they don't have to stress over, hey, what did I wear today? In some cases, or
which we were talking about,
what do I do today? Like Kitten here, she has a list of chores that she has to do every single day. She doesn't have to make that decision. She just knows that they're there. And it takes the stress of making that decision off of her shoulders and puts it onto mine. We have a whiteboard, and every morning I write up on the whiteboard what her chores are every day. I need to be better at it, but I do it. But those are the kinds of things that a dom takes off of a sub's shoulders, is those decision makings. Now, when it comes to the sub's life in general, long-term goals, things like that, no dom can do that. They can't take that decision off of your shoulders. They can help you make that decision. They can help you make that long-term decision. And then once you've made it, then they take the stress off of your shoulders of getting you there. Like Kitten going to college. She made the choice to go to college and get an education, get a higher education. Now it's my job as dom, make sure she does her homework every night, make sure she goes to class every day. She doesn't have to make that choice anymore. Hey, I'm just not feeling good today. I just don't want to go to class. No, get your butt out of bed
yes,
and go to class. I take that decision out of her. She's given me the power to make that decision for her. And that's what being a dom is. It's not beating a girl's ass. It's not sex. DS is not sex.
well, it's a dynamic. There we go. The dynamic. Oh, no, that's not good.
It is. It's a dynamic. Yeah. DS, dominant, submissive, is a dynamic relationship. It's not about sex. It's not about, kink. You and I had this discussion before. DS is a lifestyle where kink is sex.
Yes.
You can be kinky without being a dominant or a submissive. You can be a dominant submissive without being kinky.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. I don't like the fact that in today's community and environment and everything that the two are getting mixed together.
Yes.
Because they shouldn't be mixed together. Kink is kink. And I should not be talking with my mouth
That's okay. I'll take some of that away from you because I know, like, okay, I get contacted by people, and they're like, oh, yeah, you know, you seem really nice, I'm very interested. What are you into? And it's like, okay, well, the most important thing is the dynamics of the relationship. And it's, you know, you think about it, it's like, well, when you find a master or whatever, you have to find out what he's into, because he's the leader of the relationship, and you have to see if you can conform to his ways. And if not, then he's not really the person for you.
Exactly. And everybody's different. Every relationship is different. DS is no different than a vanilla relationship, a vanilla marriage, two people dating in vanilla. The difference in DS is that one person is giving up their power to the other so that other can make decisions for them, help them get through life, help them, and we're also deeper in the trust. I think that the lifestyle relationships are deeper than any vanilla relationship. We communicate more, we trust more, we respect each other more.
Well, we make it a goal to work on that relationship.
Yes, that is the biggest thing. That is the actual goal, and it's a lifelong thing to work on that relationship. Where vanillas, they get married, okay, we don't have to work on it anymore. We can just do our separate things. And what is the statistics now for?
Isn't it like 75%?
For divorce?
Well, see, now there's the other thing, too, is how many times have you heard people, well, if it doesn't work out, I can get divorced. And with these prenups, which I understand the prenups now with a high rate of divorce, but if you're going in with a prenup, you're kind of going in with the mindset that everything can fall apart instead of, okay, if things start falling apart, we need to work to put them back together.
Exactly. In DS, it's a daily work, and from both sides. You know, she has to work towards my happiness, which in turn adds to her happiness, which in turn adds to my happiness. It's a big revolving work cycle here of making each other happy.
Like, it's almost funny how, in comparison, how often we end up being on equal standing in terms of making each other happy, where in comparison to, like, a vanilla relationship, they kind of just lose that. They just fall off of that. Oftentimes, one of the biggest faux pas that I see in vanilla relationships is that they stop trying. Where with this, you constantly have to be trying.
Yeah, they do.
Reinforcing.
Reinforcement. That's a big thing with the Dom. Now, there's a whole different topic. So,
well, why don't we go to a song? You can have some snacks. Because I'm so happy you came. I want everyone to know that you drove all the way from Gresham, which is, a 2-hour drive?
About an hour and 45 minutes, yeah.
It's a long, long drive. So I'm so thankful that you came. I'm so excited. Oh.
Hey, you want to know something? We're even happier because you have kittens.
That made the drive worth it itself.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I will keep kittens on hand. You just keep coming back.
Okay.
Okay, so let me go to a song, and then we'll be right back. And, well, I gotta go. I lost where I was. Oh, okay. No, we don't want that. They're used to me. Oh, here we go. We'll be back after a couple songs. Oops. Welcome back to Slave Nation on the Beaten Path. And I'm here with my special guest from Gresham. And we're also streaming on YouTube, where I'm wearing my most awesome t-shirt from the Me line. It says, Ask Me. I got it from Lou, so everyone get. Oh, and we're doing that, and so you all know that we have the prize giveaway, and we're doing like a 3-month one where you can enter one time per show. Tell us what you like about the show, and you're entered to win, and then you can win a box of goodies and everything. And you send that to slavenationradio@gmail.com. And there is a point to me telling you this, because a t-shirt's included, so whoever wins, once you win, you just contact Lou, tell him what shirt you want and what size, and he will send that on out to you. But it won't be in the box of stuff I send. It's going to be separate. But so there you go. And you guys can enter the contest too.
We can?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
This doesn't count as a call-in.
This doesn't count?
It's a call-in. What do you mean?
Us being here talking.
Oh, no, you have to send it because I won't remember you saying you have to send it to, and then I take all the emails and I put them in a little generator, like a bowl or something, and then you pick one out. And we used to do clothespins, but then we started getting all these clothespins with people's names on them.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
It is.
So you put a clothespin, start lining the clothespins up on your breast, and getting that going, and then somebody just with a blindfold comes along and pops one.
Oh, negative. But we have back we did a show on clamps before, and Mr. Black came and he was doing it with us, and we're talking about the clamps, and then so all of a sudden she's wearing clothespins and I'm wearing one of those bulldog clips. So.
Yeah, those hurt.
Not as bad as you think.
No? I'm surprised this one doesn't have bruises everywhere. Remember, they can't see you. You have to speak.
Yeah, it's radio.
Yeah, but since when's what happened?
I don't know. You talked a good amount when we were at the camping.
There was a lot of stuff to talk about at that point.
Yeah, well, there still is.
Yeah, there is. We got into the conversation. What was that conversation about being submission being a gift? Mm-hmm. And you didn't agree with me on that.
I think it's a personality trait, so it's not like you just find someone who matches with your personality.
Yeah, but you're still giving somebody a gift. You're still giving. I actually thought about this afterwards, and I think I said it at the time too. But TPE, total power exchange. It's a power exchange, power gift. Just change the exchange to gift.
Okay, so TGE, total gift exchange.
No, total power gift. But I think submission is a gift towards the Dom, and you had asked me at the time, well, isn't the Dom giving the submissive a gift as well? In the general sense of the terms, yes, but we're not exchanging power. I'm not giving you power over me. So I'm not gifting you my power, you're gifting me yours. That's why I consider a submissive choosing a Dom to be a gift to that Dom. It still comes down to compatibility. And still, you date somebody, even in DS, you still date somebody for a time to find out if you have compatibility or not, and then it is the sub's choice to give their power over to that Dom, and that's when the DS actually starts.
Yeah. Okay, but I'm going to go back to your gift thing, because you said you're not giving any power and stuff, but you discussed earlier how you take the stress away, and that's a big gift.
It is a gift.
Yeah,
I'm thinking of it I'm thinking of it in a different term than you are.
The difference between
a slave and a master. Yeah, I get you. No, it's just a personal opinion, and I know people out there are going to disagree with me on that. Submission can never be taken from itself. No Dom can force submission. That's just crossing the abuse line.
Well, it's like what I said too. It's like when you get those puffed up pigeons and stuff, all you want to do is throw a rock at them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's just and I've talked to people before, and they're like, "Well, you're submissive. Why don't you?" I'm not your submissive.
Exactly. You're not my submissive. You're not my slave, Dad.
Yeah. So get your own tea next time. I'm just teasing.
But yeah, that's the thing. That's one of those things that I think every submissive every slave out there, male, female, in between, whatever you sexually identify as, but if you're on the submissive side of the spectrum, you have to realize that no dom can force your submission to them. It becomes a personal choice of who you choose to give that to, and that's where I consider it being a gift to the dom. You're gifting your power to them, and you have to make that choice. You have to make the choice as to who to gift that to, And on top of that, you can also be an Indian giver.
Oh, yes.
If you give your gift, if you give your submission to a dom, and they turn around and abuse that gift, take that gift back and kick them in the nuts and walk away, because nobody deserves to be abused. DS is not about abuse.
Yeah.
In any way, shape, or form. It's a mutual understanding and a mutual respect for each other. She makes me happy by doing things that I tell her to do, and in turn that makes her happy. That's not abuse. Does she get punished if she does something wrong? Absolutely. But that is something that her and I has negotiated over the term of our dynamic. Master, if I do something wrong, I should be spanked for it. And I get to make the choice as to what she's done wrong. To a point. She'll come to me and say, Master, I did something wrong, I need to be punished for it. Now we're getting into all kinds of 50 Shades of Grey here, but it's...
What do you think of the movie 50 Shades of Grey?
Don't even go there. Is there anybody in this lifestyle that actually likes that movie? For a movie, it was okay. For representing what we do, it was absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. And the guy, I haven't read the books, I haven't seen the movies, but I've heard enough to know that Mr. Grey in that movie was not a dominant. He was an abuser. He abused the power. He abused his own power over other people. And he took her power from her. She didn't offer it to him freely. She did not know what she was getting into. And that crosses the line.
Technically it's worse because he tricked it out of her.
That's true, too.
It wasn't even like, I'll just force you to do this thing. I'm going to coerce you and convince you that this is what you want, instead of opening and being like, here's an idea.
Yes. Well, have you seen the movies?
Kind of, enough. I've seen the first one a couple times. Don't ask why. I've seen reviews of the other two. I have gotten the spark notes of all of the books. I have read countless posts on the different types of abuses that's in it. I've seen different quotes from the movies. All of it says terrible things.
What makes that book, that series of books, so totally off-putting to me was that it started out as a fan fiction for vampires. For Twilight. She was a Twilight fan fiction writer, and the book started as a fan fiction for Twilight.
Twilight crossfit with the Secretary, which makes it even worse.
If you've seen the movie, if you have never seen the movie The Secretary, go watch The Secretary.
I love that movie.
Yeah, we've spoken about it.
And do you know what's the name of the main character in the movie? Mr. Grey.
Oh, yes. Yes.
She stole that name from that movie.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion. I'm not getting into copyright laws here, but in my opinion, she stole that. So, and even in that movie, the young lady in The Secretary didn't know what she was getting into either.
But she thrived.
But she thrived at it. But she also did her own research.
Yes.
At some point, at a point in the movie, you see her reading books about it. You see her doing research about it. In 50 Shades of Grey, nothing.
Oh. Well, the thing is, too, in the 50 Shades of Grey, she was no slave or submissive, because she was still, as much as he wanted her to be, she's still back-talked and,
Like, I'm pretty sure
doing
doesn't,
thing.
at the end, doesn't she end up being the dom or something? That's what I last heard about the end.
I didn't read the book, I just watched the movie.
It flips around at the very end of the books, and at the end, she's the one who's in charge, which is, in a way, hilarious, but it doesn't save the book series at all.
I don't know, I'm not sure. I have to rewatch that sometime when I'm sick and dying in bed.
Personally, I think 50 Shades of Grey is more about kink than it is about dominance in relationships.
It is.
Mr. Grey in the books was a kinkster. Yes, he liked spanking women, he liked hitting them, he liked doing whatever it was he did in the books. I don't know. Because like I said, I haven't read the books, I've seen the movie.
Well, Swirls read the books. And she said they were so boring because it was like a lot of repetitive sex and stuff that she had to flip through it.
One of my favorite things, or things that I've heard of the 50 Shades of Grey books, is one person started reading the books and realized that Anastasia said "oh my" so many times that she started hearing it in George Takae's voice. So every time she read Anastasia, the small girl in the book, say "oh my," she heard "oh my."
Oh, jeez.
And so it almost made the book better, though.
Sulu!
Yes!
Sulu from that Star Trek!
Okay.
Oh my! That's awesome!
There's also even a video of Gilbert Gottfried reading parts of 50 Shades of Grey, and it's one of the best videos I know. He's the one who does the parrot in Aladdin with the really screechy, uptight voice. Imagine not reading 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh,
doesn't it sound great?
Oh, Gilbert Gottfried? Yeah, he's awesome. But, hey, there's a plug for Gilbert Gottfried on the channel. Yay!
Is he still around? He was real popular in the 80s, early 90s.
I mean, he's still around. I don't know if he does much other than probably extra voices.
He was a stand-up to start with. I think that's what he's doing now, is back to stand-up. So. But anyway, that's not what this show is about, is it?
It is not, but you're clearly a fan.
Not really.
Okay, so, no 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah. Crap.
Yeah.
Shit. If you own the book,
burn it.
Thank you.
It's kind of like collector's plates. Well, we're going off topic, but everyone's used to this. Those Antiques and Trader, and it has articles. I just love reading them. Anyway, it had this article. I have a bunch of collector's plates. What should I do with them? Well, everyone thinks collector's plates are so fabulous and stuff because they're limited edition, but see, it's limited on a time, and then they. It could be they fire up 1,000 or they can fire up 100 million. You just don't know how many were made. And everyone goes, but they're numbered. And he goes, the best thing you can do with those plates is donate them to your kids' school when they have a carnival and let them break them.
Yeah. If everybody did that, eventually somebody's going to be the only owner of the plates. And then they're going to be worth something.
Yeah.
No, it's... Where was I going? Oh, I was going to say, did anybody have questions?
Oh, I will see this if anybody has questions. I'm sure they do. Let's go on over here. Where is it? Yes, that's my dog. Okay, I'll take care of her. You know what? You be nice to my babies. Okay, we're going to go to a song, and y'all can think of some questions. I'll be right back. Dog haters. Where we go? There we go. We'll go there.
OneRuleSupersedes.com is proud to announce that they are streaming Beaten Path Radio on their website. And to celebrate, the website is giving away free bumper stickers. That's right, bumper stickers for free. There's a variety of sayings that you can choose from. To get yours, go to OneRuleSupersedes.com/me for free and click on the bumper sticker that you want and then use the coupon code me for free, that's ME, the number 4 and free, at the checkout, and they'll send it to you absolutely free. No tax, no shipping, no gimmicks, and no excuses for not getting yours today. There's a limit of one per person, and you have to be 18 years or older. And while you're there, check out their selection of t-shirts that they have on sale. And it's all right here at https://one rule supersedes. That's the number 1, rulesupersedes.com/me for free. Again, that's ME number 4 free /. Get yours today.
Slave Nation on the beaten path. Okay, the baby should be quiet now. So I didn't even notice. You're so cute.
I didn't hear a thing.
Yeah. Oh, well. So.
Did they come up with questions?
Oh, I'm not sure. Let me see if anyone has any questions. Don't forget. Does anyone have any questions? Let's see. The jelly babies and boiled peanuts and tea. Oh, I don't know what they're talking about. I don't see any, but we'll see if any come in.
Okay.
Okay. So do you want to tell how you two met?
We met through FetLife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was single, and so I was obviously on the hunt for a submissive, and I messaged Kitten here, and and I think a lot of people on FetLife need to learn is you don't start out by calling them sluts and other nasty little names and expecting them to respond in kind and show respect, and that's what I showed to her, and we started having a conversation, and then we met, and then we've been together ever since.
Oh, yes. Well, see, that's how I came up with I have a segment on the show, Mail Call. I don't have any today, but I think you probably heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll totally call them out.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure if she pulled up hers, she'd have plenty of mail call to do with her.
I mean, sadly, I delete most of it, but I've gotten some gems in.
Oh, well, send them on over. We'll read them.
Well, no, I follow so many Tumblrs that actually do specifically that. Like, there's one that's like too dumb for you. It's a really great blog because it's just screenshots of hilarious conversations of these, proper submissives and doms having conversations with fakes, I'll just say, and just fucking with them. There are some chronicles that go on for days of these people believing that something is actually going on when everybody's just laughing.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of great.
I have a message for all the fakes and posers and everything else out there. Learn what this lifestyle is about before you try jumping into it.
Yeah.
And if you're just into it for sex, hey, that's what Tinder's for.
I don't know the Tinder.
It's swipe left, right dating app for your phone.
Oh, okay.
It's just supposed to be find people in your local area that you can just see their face, swipe left or right, and then maybe just talk to them. But usually if they chat you, they just do ASL, age, sex, location.
Oh. We're back on AOL in the 90s?
Basically, yeah. It's... I'll be honest with you, FetLife and Collar Me and Collar Space, and they're all getting inundated with all these guys and others that are just out looking for sexual gratification or sexual whatever, ever since, because Craigslist shut down its personal section, so they can't go to Craigslist anymore to get their fix.
Well, I understand why Craigslist had to do it, because now if something goes wrong, let's say I was on a date with you and you were a real jerk and whatever attacked me or something, this new law makes them responsible for being the conductor for this meeting. It's crazy.
Okay, so we should start holding nightclubs and bars responsible for the people that meet at bars and nightclubs?
Well,
That's exactly what that is. That's exactly the same thing.
Well, I didn't make the law.
I get that, but
yeah.
I mean, if you go to a bar and you meet somebody and they turn out to be a complete jackass, are you allowed to hold the bar responsible? How can you hold Craigslist or any other website responsible for it?
I have no idea. Okay, Poops is just going to get in trouble. Okay, I'm going to let you guys go on talking.
What are we talking about, though?
Oh. Okay, well, I'm curious. Okay, let me, so people can hear. I'm curious. Now, do you have an age difference?
Oh, here comes this one.
Well, I'm good with it because I've always gone out with older guys and stuff. But now at my age, there's not that many older guys. But so
yeah. Well, I mean, yes, there's a 30-year age gap between me and Kitten. Yes.
But do you get a lot of grief for it? I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm okay with it. Let me get this.
No one's ever like upfront about it. I've caught people with glances. They're the obvious ones who are like, "Oh, are you out with your dad?" That's funny.
Oh, that's rude.
Yeah, we had that. Didn't we have that yesterday?
Not yesterday. It was just last week when we went to February.
Oh.
It was like. Luckily, only the other day what we got was like I got.
Oh
one,
yeah,
which
yeah.
That one was nice.
We went to get my hair cut, and she was in the barber's with me, and the barber was like, "Oh, you have such a pretty wife," or whatever it was comment that she made.
Out with your wife on the town. Some very sweet thing versus you're out with your dad? No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Not like we were kissing in line or anything. Yeah, that's at that point it's just there.
Oh, don't worry about the dogs.
Oh, come on, come here.
Are they just mad because they don't know us?
Probably. It's this one. She's such a fool.
No, yeah. My mom has a mom. I know.
Oh, they're half Pomeranian and half Chihuahua. They're sisters.
Oh.
Wow.
You be good. Lay down. Lay down.
No, age gap relationships. I mean, I've always been. I don't think I've ever not been in an age gap relationship that's been less than 15 years difference. I'm sure some people out there would call me certain names for that, but that's just my preference. I like younger women, and I'm 50 years old. Kitten's 20. That's just the way it is for us. Yes, there's a generational gap, but while I'm bringing her some of the stuff from my generation, she's bringing a whole shitload of stuff at me from her generation. Before we met, there's a lot of YouTubers out there that I'd never heard of before, and memes and things like this that I'd never. Now I'm totally into it all, and I'm like, yes, give me more. That's part of our relationship and part of how we get along with each other. And so, yeah.
Like, if anything, it honestly gives us more to talk about.
Yeah, it does. It gives us a lot more to talk about. She brings things from her millennial generation, and I bring things from my baby boomers generation.
I think we're Generation X.
Are we Generation X?
Yeah, we're X. The boomers were our parents. Well, depending on how old your parents are.
Also,
my parents were in the
depends on who you
40s.
talk to. Like, the generations and when they stop, it depends on who you're talking to at the time. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a boomer or a Generation X.
No, we're Xers.
Oh, please, you're just making me feel older.
No, that's younger. Xers are younger than the boomers.
Xers are younger than the boomers?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right, because the boomers are all dying now.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so if you're in a generational or an age gap relationship, don't feel bad about it. Don't let the people that look at you weird.
Oh, well,
Ignore
see,
them.
it's never bothered me.
I'm talking to people. I'm talking to the people listening to you, but don't let people judge you. What's that saying? Don't judge yet, unless you be judged.
Yeah.
You know, it's not that I'm a Bible thumper and far from it, but that's a good lesson. Don't judge people unless you want to be judged yourself. She's fine.
Sit there.
Just wanting attention.
She's like, I want to be on the show too. You have nothing to contribute, Poopsie. Nothing to contribute. Nothing.
So yeah, and age gap relationships aren't bad things. Yeah.
Well, I don't think so either. I was just wondering how you handled it and the problems you encounter.
It's one of those things of, even for me personally, if I, like, in a wider sense, if I were to see somebody else my age doing what I am doing without context or information on both people in it, I would give a weird eye too, because as a general idea, there's a lot of, like, in a vanilla sense, there's a lot of power difference that some older people will take advantage of over a younger person. Where in our situation, it's such an obvious power exchange that it becomes a moot issue, because we're already aiming for age or power difference.
Yeah.
Versus anything else.
Oh, did we get questions?
I don't know.
Oh, they're talking about.
Dog versus cat.
Oh, Michael's saying that. Kisking saying that my dogs are doming me.
I won't comment on that one.
Hey, I handled the situation and put them in their place.
Well, you see, that goes back to what I was talking about in the beginning, was you got to have your own personal power in order to be able to give it to somebody else. So, it's just my message to a lot of the posers and fakes and everything else that are out there. All you're doing is abusing people.
Yeah.
You know, learn about the lifestyle, learn what it means to be a dom before you try being one, because a lot of you are crossing the line and you're not getting into the community. You're just trolls.
Building a bad name.
You're building a bad name, not just for the lifestyle, but for themselves, and it's hurting all of us.
Okay, well here's the next question. So you obviously go to events, because I mentioned a camping trip.
Yes.
Okay. Now, do you encounter these people at events, and how do you handle it?
No, that's the thing. We don't.
Oh.
We don't. We go to several locations up in Portland. Mm-hmm. And the ones that are trolling FetLife or trolling Caller Space, they're the ones sending out messages that get read, your mailbox thing and stuff like that. You don't see these people at events. You don't meet them at events. They don't want their faces to be known. They want to abuse what they get and fade into the background.
Well, there are still those few people who still try and go to, like, the public places that aren't, like, friends gatherings, people you know, in the know, all that, where they're the guys who just sort of waltz in. And those are the people who have absolutely no fucking clue what they're doing, so they will walk up, they will interrupt scenes.
Oh, yes.
And it's awful.
Oh, yeah. I told you I had that big, tall guy come stand in front of me. This poor woman had been tortured. Well, she was having a grand time. But it was really interesting. She'd been tortured all evening, and they were zippering her with the clothespins. Mm-hmm. And we had stood and we watched each and every clothespin going on. Of course, we stayed the appropriate distance away back. We were by the wall part, so they had plenty of room, and we weren't disturbing them, and they knew everyone was watching. Right when he was pulling that zipper off, some big, tall guy, and I'm not short, stands right in front of me. And I was like, it's like you can hit my domino.
Was he invading their space?
I would say he was kind of bordering on it. Not really. But he invaded my space because he stood right in front of me and very, very close.
Yeah, that's just rude. I mean, if you're going to go to events, if you're going to go to play parties, you know, even the big events like Kink Fest in Portland, you know, there is a very specific etiquette to people and to these events. You know, there's an etiquette within the lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, you don't interrupt the scene. You don't invade other people's space.
You don't touch someone.
You don't touch somebody without permission. I may be a dom, that doesn't mean I'm your dom.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a dom. Don't give me blanket permission to come and grab your tits.
Yeah.
Or if you're a domee, it doesn't give you blanket permission to come and grab my nuts. You know, it's if you genuinely are trying to get into this lifestyle, learn it. Learn the etiquettes of it. Learn the protocols of the lifestyle. You know, don't just jump into it thinking, I've read 50 Shades of Grey. I am an expert.
That hook is forever going to be snapped. Okay, so everyone knows we're in the Portland area, you know, Oregon, Portland. Now, Kink Fest, what did you think of it? Have you been?
No, I think, isn't Kink Fest 21 plus?
I am not. I would think it was 18.
I don't remember.
Kink Fest is 18 and over, as far as I'm aware.
Okay. How do you want to be addressed? That's from Sweet Queen Eyes.
What context? See, that's the thing. What context are we talking about when saying how do I want to be addressed?
Yeah.
If it's kitten and I, what do you call me?
Master.
Exactly. When it's you, Deb, and me, I'm Scott, and you're Deb. You know, I am not your dom. I'm not yours. You're not my son. You're not my slave. Therefore, we're on a personal one-to-one basis. You know, we're equals at this point. You know, if let's say I start dating a new sub everything I'm saying now is personal opinion, personal choice. It's how I do things. Okay, if I am dating a new submissive, we will start out on first name basis. Okay, because you got to have that time to get to know each other. You have to get time to negotiate how the relationship's going to work. Okay, then the next step is if you're seriously dating, or taking it that next step further, and in which case I would go, call me sir. That is just a next level, you know. And then the next level after that is you are officially offering your submission to me instead of a trial basis type thing, which is where the sir comes in. You're officially offering it to me, you know. When that happens, you're presenting me your own collar. Okay, this is the collar I'm giving to you. It's symbolic of I'm giving you my power. I take the collar from you and I put it around your neck. At that point, I become master. It's this collar that Kitten wears. You know, that's symbolic of actually our engagement in a way. Even though I haven't officially put a ring on her finger, which I do intend to do at some point. The collar is like an engagement. It's almost a marriage to me.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people say that, and it is because it's a very serious commitment.
It is a very serious commitment, and when her and I do eventually get married, and which we are actually planning on doing,
I have flower girl experience. Just throwing that out there.
I will keep you in mind. We will more than likely have two different ceremonies. The first will be the public ceremony of, you know, family, friends, people, things like that. And then we're going to have a lifestyle ceremony of her officially taking a collar. And that will be our friends, and any family that is in the know is obviously would show up. But that would be within the kink community, getting married within the kink community. I have a thing I like to do when that happens is, she walks down the aisle completely naked. Thank you very much. So anybody out there that wants to come to our wedding, our kink wedding, that's a totally different topic.
There's actually a question on that.
Oh, we got that. It was how
long have you been?
How long have we been together if we're considering marriage?
Yeah, how long have you two been together?
8 months?
Something like that.
Yeah, about 8 months.
Yeah, it's about the time limit. And what is it, 1 year of dating?
Yeah, we're not officially engaged or anything like that yet, but we've talked about it, and we've said, yes, we do want to marry each other, and whether that happens at the year mark or at the 2-year mark, we don't know yet. We haven't made that decision yet, all right? And that's a decision that we'd make together, not me making that decision for us.
It's more just the fact that we've already had the conversation, we've had the important conversations of relationships, like kids, marriage, the things that people usually forget to have conversations about in a relationship. And then it comes up after you're married, and then it's just like, wait, I don't want kids, you want 5 kids. Shit.
Yeah, I think that's one of those things that, let's see. No, we are not currently officially engaged.
Does your family support your union?
Do our families support our union? Considering I don't have a family anymore,
okay.
I have one sister, and yes, she supports me in it. Christ, my sister's as kinky as I am, but except she's on the sub side of things. I can't answer that for Kitten.
It's technically in the sense of I'm extremely happy.
Yeah.
So that my family supports me in my happiness. Do they say everything that they want to say? Probably not. But that's kind of how it goes.
Well, I don't think her family knows about the dynamic side of the relationship.
And probably never will.
It probably never will. But the age gap difference, I don't think they're unsupportive. So I hope that answers the question there.
Yes. Let's see.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
Happiness is important.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Not discussing the dynamic. Yeah. The age gap difference, they don't think they really have an opinion about it. They're just happy for her, which is fine. My sister's happy for me. My sister follows me on FetLife sometimes and gets to see some of the fun that we have. But next.
Okay. Well, okay. Now you brought up that your sister is submissive. Well, okay. The question is, can you answer my other about being courteous and referring to you as sir if a submissive doesn't know your name?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's just a respect thing.
Now, the people in the South do that.
Yeah. Yes, I'll accept that. Personally, I will accept somebody calling me sir if they don't know what my first name is. If they're coming up to introduce themselves to me, or even after they've introduced themselves to me, and they then do know my name. It's just a sign of respect. It doesn't mean relationship. It means that somebody calling me sir has a double meaning.
Yeah.
One is the casual acquaintance showing me that respect, and then there's the dynamic side of my relationship with Kitten or my relationship with somebody that I'm dating. So I hope that answers.
Okay, she's saying she's a Southern girl, but I'm telling you, that Southern business really, really ticks me off, them going around calling people ma'am, because here in the West, you call someone ma'am, you might as well just call them old lady.
That's true. I've lived in the South, and yeah, you call everybody ma'am. You call everybody. It's a respect thing.
Yeah, but here in the West, it's an insult.
Yeah, it shouldn't be, but it is. I think that's something that our country is kind of losing in itself, is the respect for others. I don't want to get onto the political side of things.
Well, they don't have to go with ma'am. They can simply go with miss.
Yes, miss.
Yeah.
Miss is fine. Anytime somebody says ma'am, I think of madam.
Oh!
Which brings me back to Dolly Parton's little whorehouse.
Oh, nice.
But, yeah, no, sir is perfectly fine. It's just like anybody else. Divorce, madam. Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. Let's go to a quick break.
Okay, you're in control of the show.
Okay,
so.
Are you going to be a good girl now, Poops? Poops is going to be so good now. We're going to go to a song, and then we'll be right back. And let's see. I think you're all missing some Gary Newman.
Oh, and just to let the young lady that has been conversing and asking questions, I'm what they consider. I might be from the Northeast and now the West, but I still consider myself a Southern gentleman. So.
Well, you are very polite and very, very, very nice. So, but okay, I know everyone is missing Gary Newman so bad, so we're going to play some, and we'll be back. Congratulations on the beaten path. I know you all have been missing Gary Newman so bad. Anyway, so we were talking about addressing, because you asked Scott how he likes to be addressed and all that other stuff. Now, Vicky has her point of view on things that bother her when certain people address her in a certain way, and she's going to fill you in on it. Go ahead.
Oh boy, me talking.
Yes, you talk.
Something that I found it's been something that I found since I kind of hopped into the lifestyles is a large amount of messages that you'll often get started off with a name, a pet name, whether it has to do with your profile, what you're into, just by happen chance, somebody will start up and assume a name with you. And personally, it's always peeved me a little bit.
Okay, give an example of the names they assume.
Kitten, just in general. And it's one of those things of, I think it was said earlier, in the sense of, I'm not their submissive in any way, so I don't feel they have a right to put me on a lower ladder with the name. Because until then, a name is like equal standing, and then it starts to separate. So to start a conversation with someone calling me kitten when I have absolutely no idea who they are, it irks me.
I understand that.
Well, that comes down to the same thing of, people starting conversations with submissive of, hey, slut, or hey, whatever, that's just wrong. They're not your slut. They're not. I call kitten a slut when we're in the middle of having fun, and it's a term of endearment between her and I. It's not a term of endearment for anybody else. So that's, I mean, if you're messaging somebody on FetLife and you don't know their first name or there's nothing in their profile name that suggests it, don't use a name. Just say hi. Don't make something up just to based on what they're into or something like that. It's just then you're assuming something. And the person that you're talking to is going to know that you're assuming something.
Yeah.
And they're not going to reply to you. But that, what she said also comes down to in-person interactions, not just through FetLife or through the website. You know, if her and I are at an event, there are certain protocols. She's my collared submissive. She's my collared slave. You don't walk up to her and start a conversation with her. You come to me first. May I speak with her? And if I say no, you don't turn to her and just start the conversation anyway. You know, if that were to happen, Kitten's just going to kick you in the nuts. But
has it happened? Because you really know, oh yeah, I'm doing it. You guys couldn't see it, but she's nodding. Yeah, I'm going to get him.
It hasn't happened yet with him because he's big and scary, but I've had it happen with other people, and I have barely nearly peeled them over.
Yeah.
So, you know, protocols. The lifestyle does have protocols within the community of you don't address a collared sub. If you're another dom, you don't address that collared sub without... Now, obviously, this is my personal opinion.
It's all personal opinions here, so...
And you don't address a collared sub without going to the master first, without getting permission to do so, whether you're a dom or not.
Okay, so I'm going to throw in a scenario here. Okay, you're not around when you're getting snacks, you went to use the restroom, you're just busy doing something else. The dominant sees she's collared because she has her collar on and says, where's your master? I would like to talk to him about talking to you before we engage.
That's fine.
Okay.
He's being at that point, he's being respectful. If that same dom were to come up to her after seeing the collar around her neck and just start talking without referring to me at all, that's disrespect to me. At that point, if she doesn't kick him in the nuts, I'm going to punch him in the nose.
See, punches in the face are highly satisfying.
To see how fast I'll get back.
You know, the whole lifestyle is about respect. Respect for other people. Respect for other people's dynamics. You know, we brought up 50 Shades of Grey earlier, but this lifestyle is 1,000 shades of color. You know, there's everything from chartreuse to, you know, rosy red. I don't know my color palettes. Leave me alone. But you know, there's every dynamic is different, and some people may not agree with me on what I just said about addressing people, addressing somebody else within the lifestyle. Back when I first started, that was common practice. You know, I think, in all honesty, I think the internet has ruined the lifestyle, has ruined the communities. It's too easy for somebody to just walk in and say, hey, I'm a dom, without knowing anything about it. And that is just a bad thing. I mean, when I first started, there was no internet, no message boards, no FetLife. It was, hey, I had a friend who was in the lifestyle. I was going through a bad point in my life when it came to women, and he recognized this and said, hey, why don't you come out to a munch with me? Meet these people. I think they're more your style. And that's how I got started. And from there, I met my mentor, and he took me under his wing. You know, I was his submissive, though non-sexually. It was more of a service sub. He taught me about the lifestyle. He taught me about protocols. He taught me the etiquette. We don't see that anymore, that master-apprentice community anymore.
Okay, so since you brought that up, would you be willing to mentor some of, like if a young guy said, you know, I don't know what I'm doing, I think this is for me, can you help?
Yeah, I'd mentor somebody.
Yeah.
But in today's day and age, it would always be in the back of my mind. If somebody were to message me on FetLife and say, hey, can you mentor me? Can you teach me about the lifestyle? And I'd be absolutely sure. Let's have a conversation. Let's why don't you come and we'll sit down and we'll talk. And let me get to know you. Okay? But in the back of my mind, I'm going to always, because of the internet, because of the way things are nowadays, in the back of my mind, I'm always going to be thinking, is he trying to use me as a doorway to her? You know, hey, now that you're my mentor, do I get to practice on her?
I see what you're getting at.
So it's a little bit more difficult to take on that role nowadays that it wasn't back then. You know, back then it was word of mouth. People knew other people. It was, I know this person, I know he's a good guy. Can you teach him?
So, but let's say someone did message you, you could tell them, you know, yeah, I'm willing to sit down and talk to you and teach you and help you and guide you, but I'm going to let you know this first. You're not going to practice on my slave. You're not going to. Yeah. My slave is off limits to you.
Yes, absolutely, I would. And I can guarantee you, 99 out of 100 men that would message me or dominants would message me on FetLife saying that, 99 out of 100 of them, I won't hear from them again. That one person that wants to actually learn and understands the rules, yes, I would be more than happy to teach them. I'd be more than happy to, you know, if they want to become my submissive, be aware you're going to get loaned out to mistresses. You're going to be in my service until you learn what it's like to be on that side of the fence and what it's like to be a dom. That's the way I was taught. You know, some people say I'm old school. I'm old. Now the old guard has lost its meaning.
I thought old guard was for the gay people.
Really, it wasn't. It was and it wasn't. It's where it originally started, but a lot of doms in the community back then took it on as well, of being old guard. But it's nowadays it's just a term. Nobody uses it anymore. You know, my mentor was old guard. Like I said, we were non-sexual, but he was an old guard master teaching an apprentice. And anyway, that's just so. Yeah, if you're a aspiring young dominant that wants to learn about the lifestyle and everything, yeah, I'd be more than happy to teach you. But you're not getting anywhere near kid.
Oh wait, now I'm going to ask you. Do you see this as a problem too? Because I see this as a problem when you were very young. I don't know how long you joined or started.
That's
what? Yeah. But okay, when the women are starting out and they realize that there's a whole lifestyle out there, and now it's 50 Shades of Grey. It's really. But it's bringing the flood in, and they realize their submission, and this is for them and everything. A problem I see is there's a lot of predator doms, that they've been in it for a long time, but they go after them because they can manipulate them and tell them, oh, well, this is what a sub does, and this is what a slave does, and this is, I can teach you all you need to know when they're not really doing it.
That's been true forever.
And even just with things other than kink and in
Yeah.
the lifestyle, that's been a normal general thing of an older guy looking at a younger girl and being like, hey, I can teach you all about the world.
Yeah, but I mean, it's different in the world and the, you know,
Even back before the internet, it was like that. You know, there were predators back then too. There's been predators around everywhere. Predators have been around since the existence of humans.
it's true. But this is a little more dangerous.
It is. You know, I'm not trying to trivialize it.
More just
It's just more. It's become more prevalent since the advent of the internet.
Yes.
It's becoming more public. It's becoming more out there. More people are aware of it. You know, back before the internet, the only time you got any news was when you picked up a newspaper. You know, or you watched the 6 o'clock news.
Yes.
Now it's news 24/7, 7 days, 24/7. You know, and so you hear about this predator or that predator or this or that. And the advice I would give to a new sub, I know you're excited about joining the lifestyle. I know you want to get into it. Stick your toe in. Don't jump in head first.
Yeah.
Vet the people that you're talking to. You know, if you're on FetLife, find other people in the community that may or may not know this person. You know, vet the people, the DOMs that you are interested in. You know, a lot of submissives nowadays. This comes back to the kink here. You know, the difference between DS and kink. You know, I see a lot of girls getting on FetLife going and seeing big, giant, muscular guy with a 20-inch dick. Oh my God, he's perfect. You know, they're jumping in feet first for the sexual side of it, not thinking about the actual submissive dominant side of it. You know, this guy will probably be an abuser. He's probably been, you know, I'm generalizing and I shouldn't.
Oh, we all generalize. Well, because it is. It's like,
take your time. Be patient.
Yeah.
See, and I think there should be more mentors or, you know.
Like, even in just the sense of before you start, you should do your own research. Like, just go online. Even before you're old enough to participate, you can go and you can read things. You can learn things you can get a whole lot of opinions, realize that a bunch of different people have a different way of doing things so that no one can tell you it's one thing.
Yes.
Once I turned 18, I waited a year of doing small tastings here and there. I went to munches. I spoke to people. And I was lucky enough that I knew people who ran the munches in my town. So I was able to actually learn at that point it was going on like 3 years of learning about the lifestyle before I found someone who worked with me and actually decided to jump in.
Yeah. See, but like, not everyone is that smart at such a young age.
But isn't that the hope of us doing the show, is that somebody will hear and think,
Yes.
Maybe I should wait. Maybe I should think about this a bit more.
Well, I hope so.
Have patience. The biggest thing is have patience. You know, I've been in it for 25 years. I've had, Kitten here will be my 9th slave in 25 years. Some of them have been short term, some of them have been long term. Finding that right dom for you takes time.
Yeah.
If you're 18, just joining the community, just getting into the lifestyle, 19, 20, 25, just getting into the lifestyle, you're not going to find your dom minutes after you walk in the door. You may not find your Dom for 10 years. But if you have the patience for it, he's going to come along, he's going to sweep you off your feet, and you're going to live happily ever after. Thank you, Disney.
Love Disney.
But take your time. Stay in the shallow end. Don't jump into the deep end until you're ready to. Until you know what to look for when it comes to the predators.
And even just know what you want, rather than waiting for somebody to tell you what you want.
Well, see, and that was my point, is these guys will say, well, this is what you want because this is the way it's done, and they don't really realize, and they read about it, and they read about obedience, and you have to be obedient to your master, which you do, but they don't realize you have to find, because everyone has their, I'm not sure how but okay, you have your chores you're getting in the morning, and some masters are micromanagers, and others give a huge amount of freedom to their slaves. So they don't understand this, and hopefully they can find that out without some guy telling them. And it could go for the mistresses too. I don't know what's going on the male part, but someone telling them, no, this is the way it's absolutely done, and any other way. Don't let someone tell you it's not done like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why I was saying earlier, it's 1,000 shades of color. There are no two DS dynamics in the world that are identically the same. Yes, there are a few things that are the same. There's very few things that are actually the exact same. DS. The only thing I can think of that is actually the same in a DS relationship is one person is a dominant and the other person is a submissive. That's the only thing that's the same. So what works for me and Kitten is not going to work between you and me.
Yeah. So even in that, there's still technically a thing of, there's also the possibility of a switch and a switch.
Oh, yeah.
Let's not get into switches.
Okay. Okay, I wanted to touch on, because you said your submissives bring you a collar for you to put on them.
Yep.
See, now again, everything works different. I have never heard that before. I've always, it's presented and you accept it, in my mind, but, like you said, every DS relationship's different, so I really want to hear more about this.
It comes back to, I believe that submission's a gift. And when you are ready and you think that I am worthy, that's a very good word right there. When you think that I am worthy enough to give your power to me, present that collar to me. At that point, then it becomes my choice. Because my choice to accept the collar or not to accept the collar. So, if Kitten had come to me with her collar and I just, no, Kitten, we're not going to do it, I would have handed the collar back to her and said, I'm sorry, we're not going to do it. This is not going to work out with us. There's the door. Whether we stay friends or not is beyond that. Is obviously a different kind of conversation. But in that moment, I was either going to accept her collar or I was not. In other words, was I ready
to take on
the responsibility of her? So that's why I think that submissives, again, personal opinion, submissives should present a collar to the master saying, I want you to take responsibility for me. And that master then either takes that collar and puts it around the submissive's neck, or they don't. Maybe that's a pipe dream, or maybe that's just that's the way my mentor taught me. He was with his slave for 30 years. So maybe I'm living up to him.
How was it for you taking the collar? Were you nervous at all?
No. Honestly, simply just because of how we had already been getting along. I don't know, I wasn't nervous, I was happy, I was excited, if anything, because I'm like, oh gosh, I finally found someone who I trust and who I have faith in for this kind of exchange.
So what tipped you over that you said, okay, I'm presenting it? Is it
I'd like to know the answer to that question.
I love the little bright red shade she's getting.
See, now I'm on the spot.
Oh, yeah. We do stuff like that here.
If anything, it was just the fact that I've been, over the years, in a lot of relationships. Not necessarily dynamic relationships, but a lot of relationships. And I've really figured out what it means for me personally to think that something will last, will have a promise of just good. And I've finally found one where I found good, and it also fulfills me in so many ways that I haven't ever been fulfilled before.
Okay, so we have a question. Oh, is that your full answer?
I think so.
Okay, because I don't want to interrupt you. Okay, so the interesting question you inspired, Scott. Have you ever collared someone before, and if so, did you keep the collar when you released them, or did you have it broken in half and gave half to her and half to you?
I understand the question, and when I have uncollared someone, and basically you're asking when we break up, what happens to the collar, and the answer to that is multiple different things. It depends on how the breakup was. It depends on what the dynamic was like. Several of my subs just took the collar with them because they enshrine it. Whether for good or for bad, it's a reminder for them. Sometimes I've had one sub throw their collar at me. And that one just basically got thrown in the trash because it was a bad relationship and it should never have happened in the first place. It's just gonna come down to what the dynamic was like, what the relationship's going to be after the fact. I would take a collar and split it in half. You keep one, I keep the other. The collars are sentimental. They're very sentimental, and sometimes that sentimentality is for good, sometimes it's for bad. The longest relationship I had, my sub at the time actually wore her collars out. They weren't metal, they were leather. So she wears them, more of them so much that they wear out. Each one that she wore out, she was enshrining it up on the dresser and had little things around it, and then the next one she'd enshrine that one in the same place, and so on and so forth, until the day we broke up. And her and I are still friends. We haven't talked to each other in years, but it's just the way it just comes down to the relationship.
I think there's more. Okay, so it's basic. She says it's basic like a wedding ring. Yeah, I think
it's very much like a wedding ring. What are you going to do with that wedding ring if the marriage dissolves?
Depends on how it dissolves.
It depends on how it dissolves.
But and then it also depends, because my friend, she was divorced, and she was going to sell her wedding ring, and I'm like, well, why are you going to do that? Because you have a son. Perhaps he wants it, So, children make all the difference, because, she's still talked to, her and her ex-husband. They had a better divorce than they did marriage, but...
Well, to answer that question, I've been married 3 times. First one was my high school sweetheart. Second one was a non-talk about. And the third one was another, we're not friends anymore or anything like that, but it was a good relationship while it lasted. Out of those 3 marriages, I still have 2 of my wedding rings. They are sitting in a special spot in my house, and the first one, and it's not the first wife. I'll tell you that right now. The first one is my first wedding ring is in a lake somewhere next to SeaWorld in California, down in San Diego. But yeah, so a collar is like a wedding ring. You don't necessarily have to. That's my opinion. You don't have to treat a collar that way. For those doms out there that are asking,
Okay, we have. Do you ever have training collars?
Yes.
I don't know. Blue one, then to a leather one. Does blue mean something to you?
I think it might be referring to blue text.
I don't.
Blue text.
No, because it says, "Did you ever have a training collars? Blue one, then to a leather one."
I don't know what you mean by a blue one, but yeah, I've done training collars in the past. Usually, I don't use them anymore. They're usually indicating of a non-committed relationship where we're just dating, or a little more serious than dating, less serious than engagement.
Yeah. Why don't we go to a song? And then we'll be back. We'll take another break. And then we'll be right back. And we have more. I don't know if I'm going to play Gary. I'm going to play Lana Del Rey. She's good. And we'll be back in a couple minutes. Welcome back to Slave Nation of the Beaten Path. Where I almost forgot we were on. Did you need more of a break?
No, we're fine.
Oh, okay. So, hi Lou. I got the T-shirt on. Lou is from One Rule Supersedes. He makes these shirts, and he's the one that sends these stickers.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's Lou. And then,
well, hi, Lou.
And then we have Sweet Green Eyes and Ronus and Big Daddy's listening and Kiss King and a lot of other people.
From the YouTube side of things, I think you're getting all of the viewers on YouTube because of the pretty face over here.
Probably.
Nah.
So, there we go.
Because of the content, that's why.
Well, yeah, we always have. And they were asking about training collars. We said we went over the training collars.
Yes, I have used them in the past. I don't anymore. Every dom's going to make their own rules.
Mm-hmm.
You know, some will still use some still use training collars as a bridgeway between not serious and serious, or during the not serious dating period, it's but the sub still wants to feel, to have that symbolic feeling of being owned. They can use a training collar, and then if the relationship doesn't work out, it's not as serious a problem as if it was a full-time collar. But, you know, I've seen people use 5 different levels of collars. I can't remember them off the top of my head.
Oh, my God.
You know,
see, I feel like, just slap the collar on me when you're ready. If not, then...
When you're ready, hand me your collar, and I'll slap it on you. But collars are symbolic of the relationship, of the dynamic. When you use a collar, it's completely up to you. Mm-hmm. How you use it is completely up to you. What it means to you is completely up to you. What I've said about collars is what it means to me for her to wear my collar. That's my personal preference. Doesn't mean it. That doesn't mean it means the same thing to anybody else.
Okay, what do you think of locking collars? Okay. Yeah.
I think they more mean eternity collars.
Do you mean eternity collars or collars with locks? We'll find out soon. Now, who has the key to your collar?
Technically probably both of us, just out of the sense of
Safety.
yeah, and not wanting to break it. Like I just wear it on a chain though, like a necklace, and then he has one of the special plates.
Yeah, she's allowed to have a key to her car simply because it's leather or cloth.
Yeah.
Clothy. So she can't get it wet. So if I'm not home and she wants to take a shower, she needs to be able to take her collar off.
Yeah.
So she has a key to it. We have a ritual that when I am around, whenever she needs her collar taken off or put on, we kiss each other while I'm snapping it into place. It's our way. It's our ritual. It's symbolic. It's all of those things that it has meaning to her and I that wouldn't have meaning to anybody else. I'm sure there's probably a lot of DSs out there that would be listening to this going, wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah. As soon as it's on, it doesn't come off until absolutely necessary, which is answering that question. It stays on. Well, an internal reminder.
Well, I think it's too. I think like the key thing and the locking collars, I think it's irresponsible to leave the slave with a collar that is locked on her neck that she cannot get out of.
Yeah, eternity collars, which is what they're called, eternity collars. They're usually made out of metal. In years past, I knew one sub that actually had to have it cut off after she left her master. Eternity collars, comes down to personal preference, personal choice.
Well, I'm good with the eternity collar, but to leave your slave where she's unable to get out of it. I mean, like, okay, you're another one. I mean, if you had a medical emergency,
I can
snip.
I can technically just rip the lock. I just don't want to break the lock because it's important.
Yeah, but you can rip the collar off and you're good. But I mean, you have a metal eternity collar, and you're having the allergic reaction. Your throat's swelling, you're choking, whatever's going on. And you need that thing off, and you don't have the key because your master's gone to work or is out on vacation or a business trip. You're in a lot of trouble.
Exactly, which is why I don't use them. I mean, for other reasons, I just don't like them in the beginning, but you make valid points of they're a bad thing to have. Now, if the master leaves them with the key, that's one thing. Mm-hmm. But if they don't, that's another. That's it. To me, that's just their responsibility because obviously medical emergencies. If you're choking and you need that collar off and medical personnel can't get it off, they're going to cut it off.
Yeah.
They're going to cut it off quick.
Well, whether they cut it off or not, that's still, you may say, oh, well, that's only 5-10 seconds, whatever. That's still 5-10 seconds they're wasting trying to get you up.
Yeah, plus on top of that, in the end, when it's all said and done and you're feeling better, that eternity collar's ruined. It can never be used again. So make sure you have your key to your eternity collar. If you're going to use them, have the key.
Okay, that which brings me to the next question. I've heard people say they've done this and stuff, and I just gasp. I'm like, I think you're discriminating. I think you have no clue what's going on because, it's irresponsible. But people that say they leave their slaves at home chained.
I've done that in the past.
Whoops!
It's a long chain. They can get to the kitchen. They can get to the bathroom. They're chained to the bed. One end's attached to the frame of the bed. The other end's attached to her. However long that is in between doesn't really. If you're going to chain somebody to the bed and leave them there, and that chain is like 3 feet long, yeah, that's irresponsible. But maybe that's what the sub wants.
Yeah, but the sub doesn't always get what she wants.
No.
Yeah, look at her start to cry. What? You're just going, so the sub doesn't always get what she wants, and you're going, nodding your head.
Yes, the master has to take some personal responsibility for proper decisions. Like asphyxiation play. where they put a noose around your neck, or that's what the sub's into. That's what the kink that my girl is in, that my submissive's into. Okay, if you know what you're doing and you're doing it safely.
Well, there really is. We looked into this a couple of weeks ago because I actually had someone write me with a question about breath play and breath control and all that stuff. And you looked and everything you found, no matter how much you know, no matter how much you practice, no matter, it's dangerous.
It's dangerous. It's a very dangerous practice.
Yeah.
It's just as dangerous to do hook play, where you're being suspended by hooks into the skin. There's now we're dipping into the side of kink, and every kink has its inherent dangers.
Oh yes.
Even just using a paddle on somebody on her ass could be inherently dangerous. Prime example of that would be I go to town on her ass with a paddle for 20 minutes, and she comes away with the most beautiful bruises in the world. Her butt starts turning gorgeous colors, and then she develops a clot, and it goes to her heart, and she dies. Yeah. Everything in kink has an inherent danger. That's why it's kink, isn't it? Yeah.
But, the inherent danger is a little more extreme and a little more present.
Yeah, and you could say the same thing about skydivers, or people jump off of 300-foot cliffs, or race motorcycles around at 300 miles an hour. There's inherent danger in life, and you have your own personal responsibility for that.
Yes.
That's part of one thing that's preached a lot in the community is the risk-aware kink and
safe, sane, consensual.
Safe, sane, consensual, but I'm thinking of just something consent.
Consent, non-consent.
No, it's something consent, word consent.
Now we're you.
I had it for a second, and then you were talking. I was trying to get it.
Yes, safe, sane, and consensual.
Yeah.
Informed consent.
Informed consent.
You are aware of all of the dangers that can come with it, and you're still willing to participate because you know the danger. Not participating despite the fact that there may be danger, whether or not you know it. It's you know the danger before you get in there.
And shouldn't we all have the informed consent?
Yeah.
Yeah, but when it comes to what we were just talking about, it's
do your homework.
What are they called? Daredevils?
Thrill seekers.
Thrill seekers. You have your normal thrill seekers, and you have your sexual thrill seekers. And as long as they're informed and they know the dangers inherent to what they're doing, it's not my job to police that. Is some of the stuff that we talked about things that I would do with Kitten? No. I would never put a noose around her neck. Would I bruise her ass? Yes. When we're having sex, do I choke her? Yes. I'd never choke her more than 10 seconds. 15 at the most, and I know where the pressure points are that give her the most pleasure. But I've been doing it for so long, I know how to do it safely. And even during sex, I tend to keep my mind on what I'm doing, because it's her pleasure before mine. So. Even
during that, I am aware and let him know whenever I'm nearing that point of I should breathe soon. It's never just, do whatever, hey, blowing off into the distance.
Yeah, she's got a code that she taps me if it's getting too much to the point. And that's another thing that you should be aware of when you're doing kink. Trust the person that you're doing it with.
Yes. Know
the person that you're doing it with. Trust them. Trust that they're not going to exceed your limits. If I'm going to give one warning to all the new people out there in the world that are listening to this, if you run into a dom and you're having kinky sex with them and they ignore your safe word, get dressed and run the fuck away.
Oh, see, now that's another thing we talked about on here. I'm not like a big believer in safe words because, well, first of all, you end up with someone like me and you see how I visit all the time and things go out of my head and I'm not remembering any safe words. I'm not going to remember the basic ones. It's just not happening. So they need to pay attention. When I'm going, that's it!
The first few times, like Kitten and I, we use safe words for a long time. Safe words are that point where you're getting to know somebody. You know, a pickup scene. You know, you're at an event. You know, you see this dom doing this to this person. You're like, ooh, I want to do that. You negotiate with them. You pick a safe word. You get into it. You use your safe word, and then you stop. You know, start of a relationship where you're having scenes in private, and you're doing things with, like me and Kitten, where, you know, that safe word is her ability to say, okay, I've reached my limit. Okay? Now that we've been together long enough, she doesn't use her safe words anymore. I recognize the danger signs now. I know where her limits are. So safe words aren't as needed anymore. We still use them. She has a little bracelet that she has at home. It's a red bracelet. Matter of fact, it's the red ones that we got from the king.
Oh, yes. No, I only had a yellow.
But we decided we'd use that bracelet. If she's having a day where she doesn't want to feel pain or doesn't want to get spanked or bit or anything, she puts that red bracelet on. That way I am aware of her emotional state for that day.
That's good. That's excellent.
If that bracelet's not on, she's free game. And considering I'm a dragon primal, I bite a lot. I'm a biter. I leave bruises on her that...
Yeah, I saw some of the bruises.
Yeah. So, but I'm also, when it comes to kink, I'm a sadist. Besides the dynamic, I am a sadist. I consider myself a moderate sadist, not one of the extreme ones, but a moderate sadist. I like to hear the word out. I like to see tears. I like to make you cry. But as long as those tears are in a good way, not a bad way. So, you know, canes, paddles, whips, floggers. I know how to use them all. I've been doing them for as long as I've been doing them. When it comes to ropes, I've been doing those for just as long. Those are kinks. They're separate from the dynamic.
Well, maybe you'd like to come on again and talk about ropes and different knots. And ropes,
no. I'm not one of those educated ropers. I am a...
basic square knot?
Yeah, I tie up for... I'm learning suspension again. I did it years ago. I don't trust myself doing suspension anymore because I haven't done it in so long. I'm just a basic roper. I've done a lot in the past. But it's like a bicycle if you don't ride it. It's not like a bicycle where if you don't ride it for a while, you can pick it up again. It's not like that. So what for me is... we use it to make sure she can't move during sex.
Poor little thing, she's like turning bright red.
and it makes her orgasm that much harder. And more frequently. Much more frequently.
See, all of you should be watching on YouTube. You can just see her. Just
slowly turn darker and darker shades of red.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now on canes, do you prefer the rattan or the acrylic?
Bamboo. No. What? Trying to process what you just said. I prefer the natural materials versus the unnatural ones. So yes. Though my paddles are rubber, not rattan, but
oh, interesting.
It's just because I can't afford them. I make a lot of my own toys. It's, matter of fact, I think all but 2 or 3 of them are made by me.
Well, I think that's nice too because you have the personal. It makes them personal.
Yeah, absolutely. Buying a toy from a store, it's not that personal. You know, you have to buy your dildos and you have to buy your vibrators from the store, but everything else, no. You know, hey, you know what the Dom's best?
Home Depot.
Home Depot is the Dom's best friend.
Yes, Dom Depot.
Dom Depot, and if you live in the Pacific Northwest, it's Coastal Farm and Ranch.
Oh, nice.
Because you can get bridles, you can get leather, you can get bull whips, you can get buggy whips, you can get crops, all of that right from Coastal.
Well, I'm going to be doing one on things you can get from the craft store. Well, think about it, because they have the beading section, and they have these huge beads, like that, smaller than a golf ball.
Bigger than a marble.
Yes, bigger than a large marble. So, I mean, you could string them all up and make a little, oh, here it goes. Anal beads.
Oh, anal beads.
Yes.
Oh. Ooh.
Oh, what have you done?
If anybody can see my face on YouTube right now,
Yeah.
the wheels are turning.
Yeah. But what are you thinking of making?
Anal beads for actually, I was actually thinking of using the smaller ones, kind of about that size, make them into floggers. Get like long strings and beads, and make them into floggers. And it'd still be quite kind of expensive, but that would be fun too. A bead flogger. I've seen them before. I just don't know why I've never thought of making them myself.
Oh,
Expensive. Beads are expensive. They're more expensive than
Michael's. And
Yeah,
you get their coupons.
coupons I can see, but when I last went to Michael's, I ended up spending way too much on beads.
And eBay. eBay is always good for beads. Don't try to discourage him. Did you want to go to break?
No, you two can keep talking.
Okay.
I'm giving the subs, I'm giving the slaves in the room time to talk amongst themselves.
Okay, so what would you make from the craft store? Okay, you gotta talk.
I know. I'm on the spot. What would I make? There's a lot of different options.
There is.
Like, it depends on, first, what materials we want to use, because you could easily, like, try and just make some really cool ropes out of different yarns.
Oh, yeah. Have you made rope?
Have I made rope? Yes, but funnily enough, it was when I was in elementary school, and I now have it for practical use. I have that knowledge now.
Oh, nice. Okay, more people coming in. Okay, so that's good.
I feel like you could also very easily make a bunch of, like, really pretty, maybe even just bedazzled harnesses, because they probably have a lot of different, even just like leather strips. You could easily make 100,000 different types of handles for anything, really.
Yeah. Well, they just have so much.
They have so many things. I would have to go stand at a Michael's and go flogger, paddles, ropes, floggers, more floggers. You could make so many floggers from everything at Michael's.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's the easiest go-to.
Yeah, well, then they have clips, like clips you can use, and pins and needles. And
I don't know if, like, those would be good specifically for that.
But I've seen people put pins through themselves.
They probably have very specific sanitation stuff.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, if you're doing anything with needles. But I would probably, I don't know. I wouldn't personally go first for sewing pins for grinding the skin. And I say that simply because I poked myself with enough of them to know that they don't go deep enough well.
Well, it's not those, it's you know when you do the shadow boxes, those pins you pin things in with, like the T-shaped ones? I just saw someone on set, they had a bunch of them through their nipple.
Well, that would make more sense. The T ones, simply because they are completely steel or whatever metal alloy you would most likely want. Surgical steel.
Surgical, yeah.
So I could imagine that, but anything once you get plastic into it, I wouldn't trust any cleaning you would have to do with the plastics and that staying good. And I stray away from a lot of that simply because of the fear of like sanitation, and I say that even though I want to do tattooing, and I'm going to be working wholly with needles for a lot of my life.
And I just had a question that went straight out of my head.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It goes out all the time. Wow. I feel so confused.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. Okay, so are there activities you want to try that you have not tried? You gotta talk.
I know, yes and no, for the simple reason of, even in my small tastings over the years, is I've been slowly trying to, I'll say build up my courage to try more and more things, because there's the obvious, like with pretty much everything BDSM, everything has been romanticized. So you can read 100,000 fan fictions or just smut novels that describe things as amazing and awesome, but then if you just automatically go and say, hey, I want someone to beat me with like a 10-pound paddle or something.
Oh, yeah.
You would up. That's not a good way to start that, despite the fact that in this book it was written so beautifully. So it's in the sense of I've been trying to like level up what things I've been trying and go further and further, because I want to try a lot of things. I just haven't gotten to all of them.
Yeah, that's the nice thing in the kingdom. It's like a whole buffet of adventure. Okay. You'd be a good girl. I'm going to go to a song, though, and then we'll come back and discuss more stuff, and we'll let you pick the new topic.
Why are you picking on me? I already chose a topic.
That was a long time ago. And if there's any questions, you can just send them on in, and we'll be right back. We're going to get see. Where are we? I got to find my thing. I have so many things. Okay, here we go. And we'll be back. This is Slave Nation on the Beaten Path, where we ask the hard questions.
Oh, so hard. Oh, I feel like I've been beaten.
and with that, we're going to talk about sadistic slaves.
I'm not laughing because they don't exist, but because they do exist.
Yes, they do exist. So what do you think about them?
I've seen them. I've talked to a couple of them. I've never... I'm not a masochist in any way, shape, or form, so... I mean, yeah, if they're dumb, I would call them switches.
Really?
Yeah, and they're submissive, but at the same time, they like to bust out the toys and cause pain to somebody. Being on the sadistic side is a dominant trait.
Or not even specifically dominant, because when it comes to wanting to cause pain, it's, again, kink, as you'd like to point out the difference.
Yes.
So it would be more seen as a top trait versus top, as in top-bottom in a scene sense, versus as a full taking on the power of a submissive dom thing. It would be more, I am a top in scene sometimes because I like to hurt people on rare occasion.
But in life, I'm a submissive. Yeah, that.
Which would still be switch, since you switch the side, because you can kind of find parallel in being a top and dom and bottom and submissive, just in the sense of the obvious.
So yeah, if we're coming down into that type of definition for it, then I've met a whole shitload of them over the years. Every switch I've ever talked to would be one. I'm talking sadist versus masochist. Yeah, we're back on the kink side of the fence versus the DS side of the fence. And kink-wise, kink can go in any way, shape, or form. You can be on both sides of that fence. That's kink switch versus a kink switch versus a lifestyle switch.
Gotcha.
And I've never actually met a lifestyle switch.
Okay. You know we're going to have to go on Urban Dictionary later on and claim that word kink switch.
Yeah, exactly. But I have actually never met, now that I'm thinking about it, because I've never been asked that question before, now that I'm thinking about it, I have never met a DS switch, a dominant submissive switch, but where you're in the lifestyle, because then you're talking power exchange going both ways.
Yeah, I don't get that whole... And you know where it gets really bizarre is when you have a bisexual switch.
No, that one I understand completely.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, explain this one to me, because I'm just...
Kitten is my submissive. She's submissive to me. If another girl comes around, she's dominant to that girl.
Okay.
Okay? So, in that respect, she's gender.
No, yeah, I consider myself a gender-based switch, just as a base thing. With girls, I like to be more dominant. With guys, I wholly prefer to be submissive. Like, wholly and completely. And submissive guys, I won't do.
So those aren't that rare.
Okay, so what is it about women that you like to be more dominant with?
Well, it's in the same sense of whether or not I like a guy or a girl. It's just personal preference of how I like to be with them. With girls, part of why I like them is they're soft, they're squishy, they're beautiful, they have the soft skin that I just want to run my hands over, etc., etc. I could get into that, and it just makes me want to be forward on them. Versus with guys, it's just like, I love how this person makes me feel as they do things to me.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, because I get it from the, guy part. I don't know.
Are you bisexual?
I'm not. So I don't get the woman. So, but that's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that answers that question. Switches are a very weird topic because, again, there's kink switches, and I've never met a lifestyle switch. There are probably people out there listening to this, screaming at their monitors, going, "I'm a lifestyle switch." No, you're not, because you're giving your power to somebody. In order for you to be a power switch, you have to be able to accept their power back. And you have to be able to take your own power back plus accept theirs at the same time. And then be able to reverse that role on the drop of a dime. How does that... I don't see how that can work. Now, Kitten's dying to say something here.
Well, no, here's the thing is I've seen people try to make it work, but there's always that moment where both people will want to be submissive at the same point, and that is exactly when it falls apart. Because there's nobody in the charge, and both subs are just like, I can't do anything right now, I don't know how to make any choices, everything's stressing me out, and there isn't that person that you have full trust in to be able to do that thing, because they've both just gone bet, or they both want to be dominant at the exact same point, and it won't work after a certain point.
It's a power struggle.
Yeah.
I would consider life, if there's actually are lifestyle switches out there, I would consider them to be vanillas.
I don't know.
I would consider them to be vanillas, because what is a vanilla relationship? A vanilla relationship is a constant power struggle.
Yeah.
It is a constant power struggle. both people in the relationship are vying for control over that relationship in a vanilla relationship. So, anytime I see a vanilla relationship where the male is dominant and the female is submissive to them, and they don't realize it, I point it out. You're actually in a DS relationship. But most vanilla relationships are power struggles. The wife is, the wife doesn't like something you've done, she's going to let you know it.
Yes.
The wife does something that the guy doesn't like, he's going to let you know it. It's a constant power struggle. That's a switch. So I don't believe in switches in that regard. In kink, yes, switches are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Because one minute you can be a top, 1 minute you can be a bottom. But in a lifestyle dynamic relationship, switches don't work. They just don't work. Because like you said, what if they're both, she said, they're both on the left side. What if they both go to the dom side at the same time? That's even worse. Now you've got World War III.
Yeah.
There's two depressed people in the house versus two nuclear bombs going off.
Okay, but let's not confuse that just because you're submissive or you're a slave, you're depressed all the time.
No, it's just usually when you fall into like the absolute submissive habits, I'm falling back to the safety of what this is.
Yes.
So that I don't have to freak out about everything that's doing it. Because I'm talking about the sense of you're falling into that role because it's your comfort place and everything is not good right now. Versus just...
It is how you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
sorry for using the depressive side, but I couldn't think of a different word for it.
It's fine.
2 squishy balls versus 2 nuclear bombs.
Yes. 2 squishy balls versus 2 nuclear
balls.
Good one, kitten.
We're always mature on our show.
Oh, yes, absolutely. This is. Listen up, everybody. This is a very serious show. But so sadistic sub. Okay, she's submissive to a dominant, but tops during scenes.
I mean, there's also the general sense of you could just think of somebody who's sadistic, not in the physical sense, but psychological, because then you just call them brats.
Okay, brats.
When I do think of sadist masculines, I'm thinking physical sense, not the emotional and psychological side of it.
Well, I know. I'm just pointing it out because I've had this conversation with friends before. Like thinking about it, and I'm just like, well, that's kind of what subs do, or brats do. It's just more subtle, and there's usually retaliation, which we're hoping for.
Oh, that doesn't make you a sadist. That makes you.
No, but at first we're aiming to irk you to a point where you want to do something.
See, I don't.
It's usually enjoyable to watch that "don't do it" face appear on your own.
See, I don't like that at all. I don't like that. You know, if I want something, I will go and ask for it. But I don't like that face with. Yes, I don't like that at all.
I love that face.
Because that looks like the face you're going to get it.
Uh-huh.
And not in a good way.
It's always
It's always in a good way?
Yeah, we'll see tonight.
Actually, she makes a point. With that, always in a good way. If you're a good dom, it is always in a good way. If you're an abuser, that's when it becomes bad.
Yeah, but still, you don't like being in trouble.
She does.
And also, when it comes to being a brat, usually you're already in a place where he knows I'm going to be a brat. He knows when I'm going to be a pain in the ass to him. And he is ready for it. And at times, I'm pretty sure he looks forward to it.
Sometimes. Because it lets me let my sadistic side out.
Exactly.
It lets me let my kink sadistic side out. When she's being a brat, she knows it's going to lead into her getting her butt tanned or some other form of punishment, which is then going to lead into her getting fucked.
So is it punishment or the punishment?
It's punishment.
Yeah.
I have, in 8 months of our relationship, I have yet to actually, twice. I only had to punish her outside of punishment. And both of those times, it hurt. I would say it hurt me more than it hurt her. But I know in reality, emotionally, it hurt her worse than it did anything. Than it did physically, what I did to her physically. As soon as that first swat to the ass comes, she's in tears because she knows she did something wrong. And then her tears turn around and break my heart. So, yeah, it's...
We just try not to have it happen.
Yeah, we just try not to have it happen. We had a small issue before coming here today. It didn't lead into a punishment, but it could have. I expected I had certain expectations about the cleanliness of our bedroom. She's used to making a mess in her bedroom. I have certain expectations about cleanliness, and I walked into our bedroom today, and bed wasn't made, clothes everywhere, dresser drawers open, and I called her out on it. And I was being very nice. I was like, let me preface this with, I love you. Please make sure these things are done. Okay, I was being very nice. I was being gentle with her. And in response, she slammed the drawers shut. And in frustration, walked and started doing everything in frustration. At that point, I very well could have said, and I called her out, I said, you're giving me attitude. And we had about 3 seconds of verbal back and forth. I'm like, okay, I need to walk away from this. Let her have her frustration, and we'll talk about it afterwards. And we did, and we're fine. That very well could have, and probably should have, led into a very big spanking. But it's part of our dynamic that we talk about things and we try to understand each other first. And after talking, she doesn't deserve to be punished for it. She just needs to learn from it. So, and that's part of the dynamic, and that's part of what a really good Dom does.
Yes, well, you can see and you realize, too, that she has emotions and feelings and frustration and...
Absolutely. That's what a lot of Doms don't understand. Especially the posers and the fakes. They don't understand that these subs are still human beings. They still have emotions, they still have their own thoughts, their own psychology, and you have to tailor yourself. You've accepted their power over them. You now need to tailor yourself to administer that power in a constructive way, not a destructive way. When I went into the military, they always say the military basic training is there to break you down into base parts and then build you back up into a great big soldier, right? It doesn't work that way with a sub. I've heard Dom say that before. You need to break your sub. You need to break them down and then build them back up the way you want them to be. Fuck you! No! You don't break down a sub. You build them up from where they started.
Well, you have to think, too, well, what was it you saw in the first place?
And build on it.
Yeah, that you think you need, if you think you need to break her down, then what attracted you? Why would you want to bother with this person?
Yes, exactly. So in kids, or in anybody's really, I guess, it's build their self-esteem. The stronger you make your sub, the more power you got. The more power they're giving you. You know? Kitten had certain self-esteem issues when I first met her. I'm hoping that I am building those self-esteem issues up, taking those self-esteem issues away and building up a better one for her. Am I right?
Totally. So they can hear you.
You're right.
But so you don't break us up. You build on. You build on what they start, what you see, and what you said, what you see in them, and then you build up on that. And they become better people. They become better human beings. They become better submissives. They make you happier. You make them happier, and you start that cycle of happiness. The happier they are, the happier you are. The happier they are, you know in the vanilla lifestyle. What's that saying? Happy wife, happy life.
Yes.
Happy sub, happy master. Anyway, aren't you going to close here?
Yes. Oh, we're over. So we're going to close out to our closing song. Be back next Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. I want to thank you so much for coming. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun.
Well, if anybody wants to get to know me or anything like that, I am Dark Phoenix on FetLife. You're welcome to friend me or message me or whatever. I will answer questions.
Yeah.
If you have them. And
Yeah,
I hope to be back again.
Yeah, we're hoping to have you back on. So you can also send questions so I can put them on the spot. Because that's always fun.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank everyone for tuning in, and we'll be back next week. Oh, okay. Maybe not. Maybe we're going. Okay. Restart. Okay, we got that. And we'll be back. Oh, and after our outro, I'm going to go ahead and keep the music playing, and you never know what you're going to get. Thank you for tuning in.